2018's Halloween pushes beyond the limits of a normal slasher flick, particularly its rather abrupt ending. If you're itching to unravel the different moving parts left in the wake of Michael Myers' latest rampage, here's Halloween's ending and aftermath explained. Oh, and it should go without saying, but spoilers for the entire film are ahead. We learn by the end of Halloween that Michael Myers isn't the only source of darkness in the film. This time, the doctor who's fascinated by him takes things to a truly dangerous level. He reveals his true colors when he murders Sheriff Frank Hawkins rather than let Michael die, all in an effort to truly understand the serial killer. Sartain's heel turn seems to indicate that the bus crash that kicked the movie's murder spree off was almost certainly his doing. While we never actually see how that happened, Sartain's obsession with Michael and the fact that Myers was locked in the back of the bus while Sartain sat up front near the driver sure makes it seem like the not-so-good doctor was the reason the bus crashed and Michael went free. Karen Strode spends much of Halloween outwardly fearful of and hostile toward her mother, who she blames for her own dysfunctional life. Then, in an instant with her back against the wall, she remembers what her mother taught her, luring Michael Myers into the basement stairway just long enough to get off a wounding shot and begin the process of trapping the monster once and for all. It's a cathartic moment not just because it proves that Laurie was right to be prepared all along, but also because it allows Karen to turn all that fear and distraction she's been grappling with her whole life into a moment of genuine power. Laurie carries most of the burden of the confrontation with Michael, but all three Strode women change in the process, and Karen's change might end up being the most powerful, if she can learn the right lessons from it. In the final moments of the movie, we see that Laurie's granddaughter Allison has not yet let go of Michael's knife, which just moments earlier she used as a key weapon in fighting him. The way the knife hangs limp and bloody in her hand seems like a very clear visual reference to the way in which young Michael held his first knife after his own first murder back in 1963, when he was just a boy. Is Allison simply shell-shocked from the violence, or is something deeper and darker at work here? Perhaps we'll find out one day. By the end of this film, Laurie Strode herself has become a legend in contrast to that of Michael's own. She's built on the reputation she's established as the paranoid old woman who lives out in the woods, and has become something more. She's the woman who killed the boogeyman. We don't get to see any of the aftermath of that play out in this film, but it's a powerful narrative, and any number of journalists and other public figures are bound to take an interest in telling her story, and perhaps setting Laurie on the road to true recovery. Now it's time to discuss what will undoubtedly be the most debated, most important element of Halloween's ending: whether or not Michael Myers is actually dead. This film ignores all the previous sequels, so we go into it with no real hint that Michael is anything but a sadistic killer. He's evil, but physically he's just a guy, right? Well, that's a question a potential sequel might need to explore. Because while it's clear that Laurie, Karen, and Allison are able to trap Michael in the basement and then light the whole house on fire, it isn't clear if that actually kills Michael. We see a few moments where he's surrounded by flames, but the last thing we see happen at Laurie's place is the fire beginning to engulf the exterior of the house. We do get one more shot of the basement as the house burns, and he's not there. We don't ever see a body, which leaves plenty of wiggle room for Michael to escape, whether through supernatural means or just wriggling through a gap in the floorboards. Because remember, Laurie shot through them at one point, and of course, viewers who stayed through the credits got to hear some creepy, ominous breathing before leaving the theater. Sure seems like a heavy hint that Michael indeed found a way to survive.